Let's start from why you decided to join this hearing. What's your opinion on this case, and how did you prepare for the testimony?
I've been involved with Huawei for a number of years because I'm an influencer. So I've been a guest of theirs at Mobile World Congress and other places, even in China. I've learned about their technology, the cloud technology, their radio equipment. So I'm quite familiar with Huawei. But I'm also familiar with the geopolitics that have been playing out in recent years, where the US particularly have been leading what some would call a witch hunt against Huawei, believing that they are an enemy of the state and that their equipment should be banned. But of course, I come from it more pragmatically, that I've never seen the smoking gun. I believe it's a political game that's being played out because the Americans are behind when it comes to 5G technology, especially. And I just can't see the security implications. In other words, of course, you could go down the route that Huawei are in the palm of the Chinese government, but again, that's never been proved. So I just give my opinion, being a computer security expert, meaning that ultimately Huawei does not need to supply the equipment for them to hack the equipment, for instance. So even if Huawei was not providing the equipment, that any national state operator could hack mobile comms equipment. They don't have to be the provider of it. In fact, it seems to me that it's worth so much more to Huawei to just supply equipment and to be a lead player because of the economics, because of the money that they have. And of course, Huawei's equipment and source code has been reviewed, especially in the UK, by the National Cybersecurity Centre in Banbury, and no smoking gun has ever been found. So I have no problem saying, my opinion on the things, saying that there is other, that there are other ways for the Swedish authorities in this case to secure their network. Again, that they have to have source code audits, they have to constantly monitor the network and basically adopt a trust no one policy, that no manufacturer should be trusted. That is the best practice to do it. So there are many ways that they could eradicate any fears they have about Huawei and still lead to a more competitive 5G rollout again, because ultimately, by removing Huawei from the equation, it means that the Swedish government have less chance to have better 5G network, and they've got less choice.
Can you describe what the court was like and what the whole hearing process was like?
There was about 4 cameras. There was people in one room. It was all taking place on through a video conferencing utility. There was the actual jury or judge and people chairing it, and then there was the defense team and the prosecution team. There wasn't that many people in the court, probably about 14 people in one room, and then there was people in the other room who were part of the legal teams on both sides again. So it was all conducted through a video conference system again. So there was not that many people present. I could only see what was happening, obviously, during my testimony, where I testified and was asked questions by the Huawei defense team. I was asked to give my opinion on how should they secure the network, what are the risks, etc. But again, I don't know what happened afterwards.
Is it possible for you to repeat maybe part of your response at the court?
I just talked about all the threats which a network could come under. Again, all the attacks that can happen, and that just the actual equipment manufacturer is only one of the possible threats, really. I was asked my opinion on what should the Swedish authorities do to ensure that that Huawei is not a threat, and I gave my opinion about source code auditing, about trust no one architectures, and again, just continuous monitoring of the network to see that nothing untoward is happening, really. So I was just able to give my opinion, really, that I don't see it as a legitimate worry for the Swedish authorities.
Can you talk about why and how Huawei approached you?
I guess they did a Google search. They probably didn't realize that I had been working with Huawei, but for many years I do a lot of interviews for the media. I've been interviewed many times by even newspapers like the South China Morning News. I've given my opinion many times on Huawei. So I guess they must have seen that somewhere online, and then they realized obviously that I'm a professor of cybersecurity. So they asked me, would I be willing to actually help? And it was actually an Irish guy, Colm, who approached me, and I said yes, I'm more than happy to give my opinion. I mean, my personal opinion on whether or not Huawei is a threat.